August 14, 2019, 11:47 p.m. Chicago South Side. Officer Maria Santos is 3 hours into her graveyard shift when dispatch crackles through her radio with a call that will haunt her for the rest of her career. All units, we have a 10-31 in progress. Suspect fleeing on foot. Corner of 63rd and Ashland. Armed and dangerous. Approach with extreme caution. What starts as a routine pursuit becomes a nightmare that exposes corruption at the highest levels of the Chicago Police Department. Ends with a shootout in the most unexpected location in the city, and forces Maria to make a choice that could destroy her career or save her soul. By the end of this night, 3 cops will be in handcuffs, 2 families will be torn apart, and one question will echo through the halls of the precinct. How do you catch someone who's been trained to disappear by your own department? This is the story of the night Chicago PD chased one of their own. Let me take you back to where it all began. To understand this story, you need to understand Maria Santos, 5-year veteran, night shift patrol. South Side Chicago, one of the toughest beats in America. Maria grew up 3 blocks from where she now patrols. She knows every alley, every corner store, every face. Her partner tonight is rookie Jake Mitchell, 23 years old, fresh out of the academy. Still thinks the badge means something pure. It's a humid August night, the kind where the heat doesn't break even after sunset. The streets are alive, kids playing hydrant water games despite the hour, old men on stoops, cars with bass so loud you feel it in your chest. Maria and Jake are grabbing coffee at Lou's Diner, a cop hangout since the 70s when dispatch cuts through the AM radio static. All units in District 9, we have a 10-31. Suspect fleeing on foot from a bodega robbery. Corner of 63rd and Ashland. Suspect described as male, Hispanic, approximately 5'10", wearing a red Chicago Bulls jacket and black jeans. Witnesses report subject is armed with a handgun. All units respond. Maria's jaw tightens. That corner? That's where her cousin Rosa works the late shift at the bodega. Let's roll, she tells Jake, already moving. Jake's adrenaline is pumping. His first real action call. He's checking his weapon, adjusting his vest, running through academy scenarios in his head. Maria, she's thinking about Rosa. They arrive in 90 seconds. 3 other units are already there. Light was painting the street in red and blue. The bodega's front window is shattered. Glass glitters on the sidewalk like diamonds. And Rosa is sitting on the curb, shaking, a blanket around her shoulders. Maria rushes over. Prima, are you okay? Did he hurt you? Rosa's eyes are wide, tears streaming. He had a gun, Maria. He put it right to my head. I gave him everything. The register, the safe, everything. But when he ran... She pauses, her voice dropping to a whisper. Maria, I recognized him. It was Danny Reeves. Not just any cop, a detective. 15-year veteran of the Chicago PD. Gang unit, decorated. 3 commendations for bravery. And according to Rosa, he just robbed a bodega at gunpoint. Maria's mind is racing. This can't be right. Danny Reeves. She knows him. Not well, but enough. He's a legend in the department. The guy who broke the Southside Kings case. Who took down the Marino trafficking ring. Why would he rob a bodega? Jake comes over. Santos, Sergeant Foster wants us to pursue. Suspect was seen heading east toward the rail yards. Maria looks at Rosa. You're absolutely sure it was Danny Reeves? Rosa nods, her voice barely audible. I've seen him at family barbecues, Maria. It was him, but something was wrong with his eyes. He looked terrified. Terrified. Not angry, not desperate, terrified. Santos, Jake calls again. We're moving. Maria makes a decision that will change everything. She doesn't tell her sergeant what Rosa said. Not yet. She needs to understand what's happening first. They move toward the rail yards, a sprawling, maze-like area of abandoned warehouses, rusting train cars, and shadows that swallow sound. It's where drug deals go down, where bodies turn up, where cops don't go alone. Tonight, 4 units are sweeping through, flashlights cutting through the darkness. And then someone shouts, contact. Suspect spotted near warehouse 7. He's running. The chase is on. Maria and Jake sprint through the rail yard. The air smells like diesel and decay. Flashlight beams dance across graffiti-covered walls. And then Maria sees him, a figure in a Red Bulls jacket, running like his life depends on it. Chicago PD, stop. Hands where we can see them. The figure doesn't stop. He vaults over a fence with the precision of someone who's done tactical training, because of course he has. He's a cop. They're chasing one of their own. The pursuit goes on for 12 minutes. 12 minutes that feel like hours. Danny Reeves is running a pattern, not the panicked sprint of a desperate criminal. This is calculated. He's using every trick in the book. Doubling back, crossing through water to kill his scent if they bring dogs, using blind corners. He's making them work for it. Jake is panting beside Maria. How does this guy know where he's going? Maria doesn't answer. She already knows. They round a corner near Warehouse 12, one of the few structures still semi-intact, and suddenly, Danny stops. Just stops. He's standing in the middle of the loading bay, hands at his sides, the bull's jacket stark against the darkness. Don't move. Hands up. Now. 6 officers, guns drawn, closing in, and Danny Reeves starts to laugh. Not a maniacal laugh. A sad, broken laugh. You don't understand, he says, voice echoing. You're not chasing a criminal. You're chasing a dead man. What the hell is he talking about? Jake whispers. Danny raises his hand slowly. I'm not armed. Check me. I'm not armed. Sergeant Foster approaches cautiously. Other officers cover him. They pat Danny down. No weapon. Where's the gun? Foster demands. I never had one, Danny says. It was a setup. I was supposed to rob that bodega. I was supposed to get caught. And I was supposed to be killed resisting arrest. Silence. Who set you up? Maria asks, stepping forward. Danny's eyes lock onto hers. You really want to know? It goes all the way up. Deputy Chief Harrison, Lieutenant Kowalski, half the gang unit. They've been running protection for the Southside Kings for 2 years. I found out. I was going to go to Internal Affairs, and they decided to clean up their mess. Maria's blood runs cold. Deputy Chief Harrison, he's been with CPD for 30 years. He's a pillar of the community. You're lying, Foster says, but his voice wavers. Am I? Danny reaches slowly into his jacket pocket. Every gun ray aims at him. Easy. It's just a phone. He pulls out a smartphone. Screen cracked. It's all on here. Wire transfers. Video evidence. Audio recordings. I've been documenting everything for 3 months. This phone is my life insurance policy, and they know I have it. Then why run? Jake asks. Why not just go to IA? Danny's expression hardens. Because the captain of Internal Affairs, Lieutenant Marcus Green, he's in on it too. Before anyone can respond, Maria's radio crackles. All units pursuing suspect be advised. Stand down. Repeat. Stand down. Special Response Unit is taking over. Clear the area immediately. Maria and Foster exchange looks. Special Response? For one unarmed suspect. They're not here to arrest me, Danny says quietly. They're here to bury me, and anyone who's heard what I just said. And that's when the shots ring out. Not from Danny. From the shadows. From multiple positions. Muzzle flashes light up the darkness. Officers dive for cover. Return fire erupts. But Maria notices something terrible. The shots aren't aimed at Danny. They're aimed at the officers. She grabs Jake and pulls him behind a concrete pillar. Get down. Get down. Bullets spark of metal. Ricochets scream through the air. In the chaos, Maria sees Danny running again, not away from the danger, but deeper into the warehouse. She makes a split-second decision. Cover me, she shouts to Jake, and takes off after Danny. Santos. Santos. Foster's voice is lost in the gunfire. Maria chases Danny into Warehouse 12, into darkness, into a truth she's not sure she wants to find. The warehouse interior is a skeletal nightmare. Rusted catwalks, broken windows letting in slivers of moonlight. The sound of gunfire outside is muffled now, distant. Maria's flashlight cuts through the darkness. Danny, Danny, I'm alone. I just want to talk. A voice from above. You shouldn't have followed me, Santos. She aims her light up. Danny's on a catwalk, 15 feet above. I know, Maria says. But my cousin almost died tonight, and I need to understand why. Danny descends a rusted ladder. Up close, Maria can see he looks like hell. Eyes red. 3 days of stubble. His hands are shaking. I'm sorry about Rosa, he says. I didn't want to involve civilians, but they were watching my every move. I had to make it look real. The gun? Prop, plastic. I dumped it 2 blocks away. I figured if I got arrested, I'd be safe in a cell until I could expose them. But he gestures toward the sound of gunfire. They're not taking chances. Maria holsters her weapon. Show me. Show me what you have. Danny pulls out the phone again. Pulls up files. Even in the dim light, Maria can see bank records showing payments to Deputy Chief Harrison's offshore accounts. Videos of Lieutenant Kowalski meeting with known gang leaders. Audio of conversations planning drug distributions. And then Danny plays one more file. A recording from 3 days ago. Harrison's voice, clear as day. Reeves is a problem. He needs to disappear. Make it look like a robbery gone wrong. Make sure it's messy. Make sure he doesn't talk. How deep does this go? Maria asks. 18 officers, 7 lieutenants, 2 captains, 1 deputy chief. They're moving 15 million in drug money per year through the South Side. The South Side Kings are just the distribution. The real money, it's in the supply chain. And CPD is providing security. Maria's worldview is shattering. She joined the force to help her community, to be one of the good guys. Why you? She asks. Why did they trust you? Danny's laugh is bitter. They didn't. I was assigned to investigate the Kings. I was supposed to find enough evidence to arrest the low-level guys, make CPD look good, while leaving the leadership intact. But I'm a good detective, Maria. I followed the money, and the money led back to us. Footsteps echo in the warehouse. Multiple people, moving tactically. They're inside, Danny whispers. The SRU team. They're going to kill us both and call it a tragedy. 2 officers caught in crossfire during a dangerous pursuit. Maria's training kicks in. Is there another way out? Loading dock, north side. But it's exposed. Can you send those files? To who? Everyone I trusted is either dirty or dead. Maria pulls out her own phone. My uncle, Roberto Santos, federal prosecutor. If we can get these files to him, he can trigger a federal investigation. FBI. Bypass CPD entirely. Danny nods. Do it. Maria starts forwarding files to her uncle's secure email. The warehouse echoes with footsteps getting closer. Voices calling out. Reeves, Santos, show yourselves. We're here to help. Danny recognizes one of the voices. That's Morrison, he whispers. He was my partner for 3 years. I trusted him with my life. The footsteps are 50 feet away. 40. Maria's phone chimes softly. Files and successfully. We need to move, she says. They head for the loading dock. 30 feet. 20. And then a figure steps out of the shadows, blocking their path. Jake Mitchell, Maria's rookie partner. Gun drawn, pointed at them. Jake. Maria's voice is a mixture of confusion and betrayal. What are you doing? Jake's face is anguished. I'm sorry, Santos. I'm so sorry, but I've got student loans. I've got a sick mother. They promised me $50,000. I needed the money. Maria's heart breaks. You're one of them. I didn't know it would go this far. Jake says, voice cracking. I was just supposed to report Reeves's movements. I didn't know they'd try to kill him. I didn't know you'd get involved. But now I am involved, Maria says quietly. So what happens now, Jake? You gonna shoot me too? Jake's gun wavers. His hands are shaking. Behind them, the SRU team is getting closer. Jake, Danny says carefully, you're at a crossroads right now. You can be a dirty cop who murdered 2 colleagues, or you can be the hero who helped expose the biggest corruption scandal in CPD history. What's it gonna be? Jake's face is tortured, tears streaming. Gun still pointed at them. They'll kill my mother, he whispers. That's what they said. If I don't help them, they'll make it look like an accident. And if you do help them, Maria says, you will have to live with that for the rest of your life. You will have to look in the mirror every day knowing you murdered your partner. Is $50,000 worth your soul, Jake? The SRU team bursts into the warehouse floor. 4 operators in tactical gear. Professional. Lethal. Mitchell, one of them shouts. Secure the suspects. Jake's gun is still shaking. This is the moment. Everything hangs on what happens next. And Jake makes his choice. He lowers his weapon, turns, raises it toward the SRU team. Drop it. The operators scream. They're dirty. Jake shouts back. These operators are dirty. Santos, Reeves, run. Gunfire erupts. Jake fires. The SRU team returns fire. Maria and Danny sprint for the loading dock. Bullets tear through metal. Windows shatter. Maria looks back once, sees Jake go down, hit in the shoulder. She wants to go back, but Danny grabs her arm. He bought us time. Don't waste it. They burst through the loading dock door into the Chicago night. Squad cars everywhere. But these are legitimate units. Patrol officers who responded to the original call. Not part of the conspiracy. Officer needs assistance. Maria screams. Shots fired. Officer down. The scene erupts into chaos. Legitimate officers storm the warehouse. Dispatch goes crazy. And in the confusion, Maria and Danny disappear into the south side streets that Maria knows like the back of her hand. 3 hours later, Maria and Danny walk into the federal building in downtown Chicago. Roberto Santos, Maria's uncle, is waiting with 6 FBI agents. Tell me everything, he says. And they do. The next 72 hours are a whirlwind. FBI raids across the city. 18 officers arrested. Deputy Chief Harrison tries to flee to Mexico, caught at O'Hare. Captain Green commits suicide before they can arrest him. Jake Mitchell survives his wounds. He testifies against the conspiracy in exchange for immunity. Last I heard, he left law enforcement entirely. Works construction now in Wisconsin. Still visits his mother every Sunday. Danny Reeves becomes the star witness in the biggest police corruption trial in Chicago history. 14 officers get convicted, sentences ranging from 15 years to life. And Maria Santos? She's still a cop. Still patrols the South Side. But something changed in her that night. She knows now that the badge doesn't make you good. Your choices do, every single day. So what can we learn from this story? First, corruption doesn't announce itself. It starts small. A favor here, a blind eye there, $50,000 to look the other way. Before you know it, you're in too deep to get out. Jake Mitchell thought he was just passing along information. He ended up part of a murder conspiracy. Second, sometimes doing the right thing means going against everyone you know. Danny Reeves risked everything, his career, his life, to expose his own department. That takes courage most people don't have. Third, split-second decisions define us. Jake Mitchell could have pulled that trigger. He would have gotten his $50,000. His mother would have been saved, but he'd have lost himself. In that moment, he chose redemption over reward. And maybe the most important lesson, the system only works if good people refuse to break. Maria Santos could have looked the other way, could have let the SRU team handle it, could have protected her career, but she didn't. Because at the end of the day, the badge is just metal. It's the person wearing it that matters. This story is a reminder that the real criminals aren't always the ones running from the police. Sometimes they're wearing the uniform. If you want more true stories from the streets of America, stories that challenge everything you think you know about law enforcement, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Next episode, the Seattle case where a traffic stop turned into the exposure of the largest human trafficking ring in Pacific Northwest history. Until then, stay safe out there. And remember, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. Don't be a Jake Mitchell standing there with the gun shaking. Be the Jake Mitchell who made the right choice when it mattered most.